Hello, this is Brad, and I am with Mid-Continent Public Library. Welcome to Winter Weather Apps. Today, we are going to look at some apps that you may find useful when you are traveling during the winter months. These apps can help you look up weather and traffic conditions so that you can plan your trip accordingly. We are going to look at a couple apps dedicated to the Missouri, Kansas City metro area, and then we will look at a couple of other apps that offer some more advanced features. Let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using an iPad today to look at these apps, but they are all available on Android devices as well, and several have some websites too. Let's get started by looking at the Mo.Map app. This is an app provided by the Missouri Department of Transportation. Right away, I can see a map of the state of Missouri with green lines all over it and some other little icons. I can see from my winter conditions legend that the green lines indicate that all the roads are clear. If they were light blue, that would mean they are mostly clear. Dark blue would mean they are partly clear. Purple would mean they are covered with snow and ice. And red would mean they are closed. I can zoom in if I want to look at a specific area. And as I do, more highways and interstates will become visible. There we saw a few more appear there. And I can select the winter road guide if I want to know more about this legend. This is actually going to bring up the Mo.Dot website, and it will tell me exactly what they mean when they say covered or partly covered. Covered means 75 to 100% covered. Partly covered is 50 to 75% covered. And then mostly clear means it's 50 to 75% clear. They also list their plowing priorities down here. Priority number 1 is interstates and higher volume highways. Priority 2 is lower volume state numbered or lettered routes. And then priority 3 is going to be interchanges, bridges, things like that after the storm has passed. Let's go ahead and scroll back up and select Done in the top left corner to go back to the app. And there are some other things that I can do with this map. If I go ahead and select the weather option from this menu right here, it will actually pull up a radar of the current weather for me. And when I click that, it may seem like nothing happened, but you can tell as I zoom out further, there's just no rain falling right now in Missouri. If I scroll over, I can see some rain happening in Illinois and Indiana and farther to the east. To turn off this element of my app, I would just tap Weather again, and it would go away. Another tool available on this map that I can use to check the highways is the traffic cameras. If I go ahead and tap on those, I will see these camera icons appear, and these represent actual cameras positioned on different parts of highways and interstates. If I tap on one of these, it will actually show me a live feed of the highway. I just press this play button, and then I am going to see actual live footage of this part of the highway. So if I wanted to see how traffic was really flowing, if there was snow or ice on the roads, I could use one of these cameras. I see some numbers here as well. That actually represents multiple cameras that are in close proximity to each other. So tapping on a letter will show me those cameras. And then I could use that live feed to check the highway, just like I did earlier. So it looks like the road is pretty clear here. And these are live cameras, so sometimes there are debris or other things blocking the camera as well. And if I zoom out, I can see how widespread these cameras are throughout the entire state. There are quite a few in the Kansas City metro area, but there are also cameras all across the state. So if I was traveling across Missouri and I needed to check some part of the highway, I could do that using these cameras. We've had work zone delays selected for most of this. Those are typically always displayed. If I tap on one of these icons, I can see what is going on. This is some bridge reconstruction happening here. Here's some bridge maintenance. There are some details under that listing telling me about that construction project. I also have message signs. If I select these, it's going to pull up all of the message signs that are positioned along highways. And if I wanted to, I could actually have all of these things on here. It might make my map a little full, so I might not want all of those selected at once. But here with my message signs selected, I can read any of the message signs that are posted along Missouri highways. And if I select traffic conditions from this top menu option, I can actually see how traffic is currently flowing. Green lines mean that everything is going quickly. Orange lines mean there is a slight slowdown. And anywhere I see red means there is a substantial slowdown. So if I was about to travel, I can check traffic conditions as well as the winter road conditions. And those are the features of the MoDOT app. As I mentioned, they also have a website as well. So if I wanted to see that, I would just open a web browser. Since I'm on an iPad, I am using the Apple Safari browser right here. And this is modot.org. I would go to Travelers and select the Traveler Information Map, and I could see a lot of that same information that we saw on the MoDOT app. So if I don't want to use the app, I can just use their website as well. And like I said, this is the Missouri Department of Transportation's website and app that we just looked at. Next, we are going to take a look at the KC Scout Traffic app. This is another app dedicated to local travel. Right away, we see some icons on here. These blue rectangles actually represent their cameras. And so if I tap on that, I can see another of these live feeds of an intersection of the highway where they have a camera positioned. So if I wanted to check on a particular stretch of highway, I can select any camera that I want and see this live feed. I can even make it full screen if I want to. Yep, this highway looks clear. And if we scroll out, I do want to show that this app is specifically for the Kansas City metro area. So we are not seeing those statewide cameras like we saw on the MoDOT app. If I go to View in the top left corner, we can see some more options. We have cameras selected currently. I can turn on the Incidents/Planned Events option. And then if I scroll in, I can see those incidents. Similar to the MoDOT app, I can tap on that to get details of this incident, and they will tell me some information regarding that. And I can move around the city and get information about different incidents happening in the Kansas City metro area. If I go back to View, we can see some more map layers. I'm going to turn cameras off and select Current Roadwork. And they have this icon that is a little orange construction barrel. And I can select one of those to see the construction that is happening. And it might give me some information on what to expect if I'm going to be traveling this way. Back under View, there are also signs. We saw this on the MoDOT app. These signs are positioned along the highway and have information. This one is telling us about some road work and how far until the next highway intersection. Those could be helpful to look at as well. Also under our View menu, we have traffic speeds. Similar to the MoDOT app, they use green to represent traffic that is flowing smoothly. Yellow on this map represents slightly slowed traffic, and then red would be areas where there is a significant slowdown. Under map type, we have been looking at standard, but you can also select this satellite option if you want to see a more realistic view of the city. And there is also a hybrid option that combines the best of both maps with the realistic satellite view and city placements. And if I want to, I can turn all of the map layers on at once, but it might get a little crowded and be hard to decipher things, so I might not want that. But it is an option available to me. If I select alerts down here, I can see incidents. And then if I want to see more information about an incident, I can read that report here. And then they also have current roadwork as well. And I can select on one of these options to see more information about this construction project. And if I go back to my map and select locations, I can zoom in on specific areas of the metro. Here is Northeast Kansas City. I can also take a look at downtown as well. So if there was a specific region I was navigating to, I could use that. If I tap Find Address, I could put in a street address, and it would take me close to that address. I could see all of the different information that this app allows me to see for that specific area. And that is the KC Scout app. If I go to Safari, I can see that KC Scout also has a website as well. So if I preferred to look at this information that way, I could do that without downloading this app. Let's go ahead and close this and then look at our next app, which is the Can Drive app, which is available courtesy of the Kansas Department of Transportation. If we get that opened up, we will see a map of Kansas. Right here, we see some different map layers that we can put on our map. Let's start off by selecting incidents. We see all of the incidents reported here. If I select the legend, I can see what these different icons mean. We mostly see closures and then a few incidents here. And if I tap on one of the closure icons, it will tell me about that closure with some information and then even a street view look as well. And if I select an incident icon, I can read about this incident. This is a stalled vehicle, apparently. And if any of these other events were happening, I would see the appropriate icon there. A warning, police activity, flooding, wildfire. If I want to turn incidents off, I can just select it. And let's take a look at another of these layers. Let's tap winter driving. Here we see the winter driving key. A brown road means that the road is doing fine for its season. Blue means partly covered. Purple means completely covered. And red means closed. If I was traveling in some winter weather, those would be great things to know. I can also look at cameras as well, just like the MoDOT app. Selecting any of these camera icons is going to give me a live feed of that section of the highway. And so just like with the MoDOT app, I could see how travel looks on this stretch of highway. If I select construction, I am going to see any planned construction that is happening. And I can tap on any of the icons on my map to see about the details of each construction project. And if I go to layers, there are actually a whole lot of other options I have available over here. All of the layers we saw before are available here, as well as these additional ones. I can select traffic speeds. Again, they use green to denote normal traffic flow. I see a different legend below down here for traffic speeds. And if I go back to layers, I have other options such as electronic signs. And I can tap on one of these icons to see what that particular sign says. If I go back to layers, I can select the weather radar, which I can't see anything right away because there is no immediate weather. But if I scroll over here, I can see that legend for weather radar. If I go back to layers, there are a couple other options available that I would want to show you. Rest areas can be very important when you are traveling across the state, and this actually shows you some of the rest stops available in Kansas. Using the legend, I can see some information about these various rest stops, whether they are open and the type of parking availability that they have. If I go to search down here, I can actually put in where it is I am going. I tap End City or Address. Let's say I am going to Colby, Kansas. And then if I tap Search, it will give me some information about that journey. And I will tap Show Results to see all of those options. And under Results, since I have rest stops selected, it's going to tell me all of the rest stops that I will encounter as I drive to Colby, Kansas. And under Directions, I get driving directions. And if I close out of this and then go back to my layers and change the layers that I have selected for my map, that will change the information that I get in those driving directions. So let's select Incidents, Construction, Planned Construction, Winter Driving, and Weather Radar, and then go back to my search. I'm just going to put in Colby, Kansas again and select Search. And now, when I select Show Results, it is going to show me information about incidents and construction and anything else that I have highlighted from my map layers. So that could be really handy when planning a trip across Kansas. And that is the CanDrive app, available courtesy of the Kansas Department of Transportation. Another great option if you're traveling in the Midwest. I'm going to go ahead and close this app and open up Safari again because I want to show you that this map is also available on the Kansas Department of Transportation's website. So if I didn't want to download the app, I could still access this information here online. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next app. That is going to be the Drive Weather app. And this map is actually going to show us the weather that we are going to encounter on our route. To enter a route, we select the magnifying glass in the top right corner, and then we need to enter our end location. I'm going to say it's San Antonio, Texas, and I will tap Get Drive Weather. And then here it shows me the weather I can expect to encounter as I drive from Kansas City to San Antonio. Selecting this question mark will bring up the legend here. And I can see that I am mostly dealing with blue skies as I drive to San Antonio. There's no rain or snow or any of these other precipitation elements on this map present. Over here, I see if I had the Pro version, I could see information about wind. And back here on my map, I'm going to kind of go down the side over here. This shows me the temperature of all these different spots on my way down to Texas. The next option, if I select it, is for wind. They are sure to let you know that you are using the free version and you could upgrade. I am going to continue using the free version. And the option below that is a weather radar. I can see there's a bit of weather right above us right now, so that shouldn't affect my drive, but that would be good information to know. And as I adjust my time, it will adjust the weather accordingly. So as I move my start time back, I can get a more accurate representation of what weather I may encounter on my trip. Let's go ahead and close out of this and look at On the Way, which is our final winter weather app. I am going to select the Going To option here and enter where it is I am traveling. We'll say I'm going to Madison, Wisconsin, and then it will give me information about my route. If I select this small blue icon, I have different options. Right now it is telling me wind, so these numbers down here represent the wind that I will encounter as I'm driving. Also under that menu, I can change it to temperature. It'll show me how the temperature will change as I travel north. No surprise, it's going to get a little bit colder. There's also a precipitation option, so it will tell me the chances of rain or snow as I travel. And there's also an option underneath of there for wind gusts, so I can get information about gusts of wind as well. I'm going to change that back to temperature. And then if I add a stop over here, I could actually put another stop on my trip if I was going multiple places. And then up here, if I tap that, it's going to bring up the weather radar. It lets me know when it is last updated. Currently no weather happening in this area, but if I zoom out, I should be able to see weather happening somewhere. It looks like the west coast is getting some precipitation. If I select Show Timeline down here, it will show me a more compact view of my travel and the weather I can expect to encounter. Since I have temperature selected, it is showing me the temperature. And if I select More here, it'll tell me more about the app. This is a free version of the app, so I have 3 free trips remaining. So once I had used those, these options might not be available to me. Okay, and those are some winter weather apps that you can use as you're navigating around in winter weather. If you're trying to avoid snowy and icy roads, using these apps could help you make sure that you are not traveling under dangerous conditions. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to follow our MCPL 360 Facebook page. We premiere new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you miss the premiere on Facebook, you can watch all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our MCPL Mo YouTube channel. This has been Brad. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.